Greetings and welcome to Homework Solutions for Chapter 7, Lesson 3, Day 1, Simplifying Algebraic Expressions, otherwise known as combining like terms. So when we go through this, there's a couple strategies that I will be using. Definitely rewriting the expression so that like terms are next to each other before I go through the simplification process. Helps keep track of if you're adding or subtracting and can be quite useful. So for these first ones, I will color code. So if we have terms with variables, those would be considered like terms. And then if we have our constants, those are also considered like terms. So a plus a is 2a. And we haven't done integer operations. So when we look at this minus 5 plus 7, you have to think that we have this quantity of something, and we're starting here. And we're subtracting 5 from that, and we land at this point. But then we're adding 7. So if I add 7, that means I'm going to be traveling back this same 5 and then plus 2 more. So our total change is going to be this piece right here. So the total amount of change that we have in this case is plus 2. So as we simplify this, and I know since we haven't dealt with negatives, I'm not going to think of that like a negative 5, but I am going to think of it that we lost 5, or we took away 5, and then we added on a total of 7 more. So this kind of gets us around having to do work with negative numbers because we can think of it in the total amount of change. So if we look at question number 2 and we employ the same type of thinking, we have our variables with k, and then we have our constants here. So we have 1k plus 1k is 2k minus k minus 7 plus 4. So then we would end up with k, because 2k minus 1k is just k. And I'm going to be thinking about these in that same way, where we started here, we lost 7, but now when we add 4 on, we don't quite make it back up to where we are. And so the point that we've missed is this piece right here, and we are still a total change of negative 3, or minus 3. So we're still subtracting 3 to get our total amount of change. And if you think of it like you spend $7, but then you earn $4, you still are kind of at a place where you've like lost or spent $3. And so back from like chapter 1, we know losing $3 would be like subtracting 3. So k minus 3. Number 3, we have 5c plus 4c. All these variables are the same, so I can keep them like that. So we have 9c minus 7c plus c. 9c minus 7c is 2c plus c, and your answer is 3c. So keep note that I'm not going to add this because then I would end up subtracting 8c, but we didn't want to subtract 8c. We wanted to take away 7, but then add 1 more back on. All right, here we are with number 4. We're going to do that same thing. Because we're left with addition and subtraction, we're just going to travel from left to right as we solve. So we will do 12d minus 5d is 7d, and then we're adding 9d onto it. So we have 7d plus 9d is 16d. So question number 5, I notice we have 2 different terms, so I am going to color code my constants. And notice I did include that subtracting of 13. I want that subtraction sign in there because that is going to be important. And keeping those operations together. So we have 24 minus 13. And then from that, we are still subtracting 4r and then adding 13r back on there. So I've reorganized. Now I can do 24 minus 13, and I get 11. And now I'm going to think about this looking at my coefficients. So when I look at my coefficients here, I'm subtracting or taking away 4r, but then adding 13 of those back on. And so if I think of this in terms of my changes of r's, I'm losing 4, but then when I add 13 on, up to here, plus 13, my overall change is going to be this distance here, which 13 minus 4 is 9. So we're actually going to be adding 9r to our 11 there. So our overall change of You could think of this in terms of weight, maybe? Like you lost 4 pounds, and then you gained 13. And so your overall, even though you lost 4, you gained 13, is a gain of 9. And so that's how we show that with addition there. Looking at 6, I'm going to color code again. We have constants, and then we have some variables. And I am trying to keep those operations with them together, so that way we know we've got what we've got there. So we have 15 minus 9, then we're going to be adding 21s, subtracting 2s, and then adding 3s. So 15 minus 9 is 6. Now, if we add 21s and then we take away 2 of them, we're going to be adding 19s. And then we are going to be adding 19s plus 3s is 22s. So our answer is 6 plus 22s. All right. Word problems. Show your thinking with either a number line or a bar model. Express it as an algebraic expression that has been simplified. So Kelly cycles from her home to school. So on our number line, here's home, here's school. First, she cycles 2 miles. She's heading south. I don't know if the direction matters, but we'll add that there. Then she goes east, and that is a 5a minus 9. And then she goes south again, so she travels 5a plus 6. So there's our model for this. And then if we want to find that total distance, we're going to need to do 2a plus 5a minus 9 plus 5a plus 6. So I'm going to color code. Here's my variables with, or my terms with the variable a. Then I have constants here. I'm going to rewrite 2a plus 5a plus 5a minus 9 plus 6. So when I combine those a's, 2 plus 5 plus 5 is 12a. So then we're taking away 6 and then adding, or taking away 9. So you're spending $9, gaining 6. You're still at a loss of 3, or you're still going to be subtracting 3 from there. So your answer is Kelly cycled 12a minus 3 miles. All right. Lucas had 20b liters of milk. He drank 3b liters of milk every day. How much milk was left after 4 days? So if we start out, this is 20b liters, and he drank 3b on one day, 3b on another day, 3b on another day, 3b on another day. So we could think of this like 20b minus 3b minus 3b minus 3b minus 3b. So 20 minus 3 is 17b minus 3b minus 3b minus 3b. 14b minus 3b minus 3b. 11b minus 3b, 8b. Oof. Now I also know that this whole thing, if I had added those up, 3b times 4 is 12b. So I could have just done 20b minus 12b and gotten 8b. So that means this piece here, this is what was left, had a value of 8b liters. So 8b liters of milk was left. There we go. I know this is wrong, but 8b was left. So we got 12a minus 3. Looks like we got all the rest of these correct.